So guys, welcome back to Family Canine Training, and today we are joined with Bertie, who is here with me for an intensive day of training to work on a variety of issues. He's a 6-month-old working line Labrador, and he has become a bit of a nightmare for his owners for a variety of reasons. One of them being just how badly he's jumping up people. Everyone he meets while he's out on walks in the home, and he is growing up. He's a young lad. He's not huge yet, but he's already at a size where if he jumps up children or elderly people, he is causing damage, and the bigger he gets, the worse that's going to be, which is why jumping is one of those behaviours that for me I have zero tolerance on, because I've seen the damage that even dogs, medium to large sized dogs like Labradors, can do. They put people in hospital all the time. So we are going to address this very quickly, as fairly as possible, and we're going to let him understand that from now on, unfortunately, that can't happen, because I love him and I've got a duty of care to help him understand that that behaviour is no longer acceptable. Now, as much as it absolutely tortures me to allow him to do that, because we're filming this, I want you to see the process. And with jumping up, it is one of those behaviours that can be dealt with really quickly. And again, I'm fighting every part of my being to not deal with it right there, because I want to explain the principle of how you need to do it. We need to let him know that all 4 on the floor is a good thing all the time, and jumping up is never acceptable. So when he has 4 on the floor, that's when we can praise him, reward him, and give him treats. When he jumps up like that, I'm going to very swiftly let him know, hey, that is not acceptable, utilising a correction. And again, when I utilise physical corrections, I use my 3 questions to work out whether it is ethically acceptable to utilise a physical correction. Is the dog causing harm to himself? Is the dog causing harm to others? Or is the dog causing significant property damage? In this situation, yes, the dog is causing harm to others. So yes, I'm going to use physical correction. The physical correction I'm going to use is going to be the minimum amount of correction possible to achieve the desired outcome, and I'm going to use Pavlovian pairing or classical conditioning to pair that physical correction with a verbal correction, so that as quickly as possible we can remove and stop using the physical correction, but we're left with a powerful verbal correction that carries weight, that helps the dog understand what not only is acceptable, but in this situation what isn't acceptable. So in this situation we're going to move over to a tool that's much better suited to fixing this problem, and that is my trusty slip lead. So I'm going to swap over from a normal flat collar, which can cause much more damage to the trachea for terms of pulling and jumping behaviours than a tool like a slip lead can. And then I'm going to get a glamorous assistant in, where we're going to essentially allow Bertie to jump up. I'm then going to swiftly let him know, hey, no, we don't do that. We're going to repeat that. When he learns that behaviour and realises, oh, I don't do that anymore, I'll keep all 4 on the floor, then we're going to pay him and praise him and let him know, great job, buddy. And very quickly, the amount of times we need to correct him is going to go straight down, and the amount of times we can reward him and praise him are going to soar through the roof. And then we're going to be left with a dog that doesn't jump up, that displays beautiful manners, that therefore allows us to praise and reward him. Matt, if you could graciously come into shot for us. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go over and meet Matt like I would anybody that's coming into my home or we're meeting in public. If Bertie makes a bad decision, I'm going to physically correct him, but you'll notice I pair it with a verbal correction that is going to have widespread knock-on ramifications, so that'll be excellent. And then very quickly we're going to repeat this, and you'll see just how quickly the jumping behaviour can come down when you address it swiftly but fairly. So you just stay there, Matt. Yes, good boy, good boy. So I corrected it swiftly. Then he offered me a different behaviour, which I paid him and rewarded him for. Let's practice that drill again. Let's see where we get to. 1 correction so far. Same again. This time, avoiding Matt. Better. Next time I'm going to do a rep, and I'm going to ask Matt to kind of just get his attention. Oh boy.
Hi Bertie. Hello, good boy.
And there we go, offering me the desirable behaviour first, because he has very quickly gone through basic learning theory. If he displayed a behaviour that he was corrected for, that behaviour happened less frequently. Now he's offering a different behaviour that he's being rewarded for, so that behaviour is happening more frequently. So you can see, Bertie isn't upset with me. I've not hurt his feelings. We're actually building a wonderful relationship, and a relationship that's now being built off my leadership, because I'm able to communicate to him clearly. So the act of correcting him hasn't done anything negative to him, nor has it done anything negative to our relationship. I would argue that it's actually furthering our relationship. Now we're going to do one more rep before we move on to more advanced jumping work, and this time I'm going to ask Matt to really get quite hyped up and get quite high energy, and we'll see where we're at. Let's go. Need a little scratch? You scratch that ear. Come on, let's go.
Bertie! Hello! Oh, hi!
Straight away.
Yes.
Already offering much better solutions.
Oh, hi, Bertie. Hello, yes. Oh dear, hello. Hi.
Wonderful. Now let's go. Good boy. So now we're going to take it a level up. People being taller, you can see just how quickly that can get addressed. And Bertie, you're doing such a great job. But what gets difficult is when people start to come down to the dog's level. When you start coming down to them, oh good boy, again, offering me better behaviours because I'm rewarding those better behaviours. Work with me, look up to, good boy. Yes, better. Lovely, classic example. Very, very swiftly let him know, hey, don't do that. And that is a classic example of what I was talking about. When you start to come down to a dog's level and then coming back up is very challenging for them not to want to follow you up. Many people call it the shark attack. You saw a mini version of it there, which was excellent for me to be able to address it. I'll see if I can get him to do it again. But you've seen, so now we're on 2 corrections. One was sterner at the start, that one was a much lower level correction. So I'm gonna come down, I've got a treat in my hand, I'm coming back up, yes, and he's offering me a much better choice that time because of the second correction. I'm communicating clearly to him what I do want and what I don't want. This is what I do want. I'm letting you know, great job. If you were to jump up me, I'm letting you know that's what I don't want. Pairing it with my verbal correction so I can get to a point where I don't need the physical anymore. This is a good example. He knows there's a treat here. I'm gonna let him have a little sniff. He's being very well mannered with it. I'm gonna bring it up. Oh, good boy, yes. I'm gonna come down to him. I'm gonna come up. Oh yes, good boy. Practice principle. Now he's offering me much better choices. So again, you can see his demeanor. I've not upset him. He's still a very happy pooch. He's still engaged and wants to work for me. And he's still offering me lovely behaviors because we're working through the process. So what we're going to do now is, because he knows I've got the food, we're going to bring Matt back in, but this time we're going to emulate a situation where you've got that member of the public, you all know who they are. Sorry, do you mind not? My dog's in, oh. And before you realise it, oh, you're so cute. And they're getting your dog super hyped up, getting them really excited. And then they go to step away and the dog follows and jumps, and then it makes you look like the idiot. But it's a good thing to work through to help your dog understand what we do want in real life situations and what we don't want in real life situations. So I'm gonna ask Matt just to come back in. Come on, Bertie. Oh yeah, good boy. Oh, good boy. Yes. So, we're meeting Mr. Crazy Lunatic out in public.
Hello, yes.
Better, yes, good boy. And then I'm going to come in. That was my favourite rep of all of them. Even though it wasn't absolutely perfect, the reason I love that so much is because Bertie made the decision in his mind. He went to do an old habit and then he caught himself and stopped. That shows that this is becoming a learnt behaviour. Without any correction from me, he's already learning. We have made huge progress with jumping up in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. Will it be fixed forever? No. So I have done the majority of the work. When the owner comes back at the end of this intensive day, I'm going to show them what we've done. I'm going to let them know how they do it. Now, when he goes back into old environments with the people there, he's been allowed to do it, he will start to test and do it again. But as long as they're very quick and with good timing implement what I've implemented, he'll go, oh yeah, I know what this thing is. And with practice, I always talk about the importance of calm, consistent leadership. So from this moment on in this dog's life, every single time he jumps up, it will be addressed in that fashion. However, every single time he makes better decisions and doesn't jump up, he will be rewarded and praised for doing so. It's the essence of balance. That's good leadership. So that's consistent leadership. But we also talk about the importance of calm, consistent leadership. Bertie, you eating grass? Are you eating grass, buddy? Sit. Oh, good boy. So when it comes to the calm, consistent leadership, whenever we administer corrections, I'm not doing it out of anger, I'm not doing it out of frustration, I'm doing it from a place of calm, loving leadership. I'm administering it quickly, fairly, enough to achieve the desired outcome, but in a calm fashion. That way I can communicate efficiently with my dog. That way my dog understands what it is that I want from him, and it furthers our relationship as opposed to harming our relationship, and that is the essence of balance. So if you're having trouble with your dog jumping, that is exactly how I would go about it. You have to make the dog understand that there's consequences to his actions if his actions are going to cause you or other people physical harm. But you do it from a place of calm, consistent and loving leadership, but you also make sure that you praise, reward, but you also make sure that you praise and reward when they are offering the desirable behavior, because that's fair to our dogs. And you will be shocked at just how quickly the bad behaviors disappear and those desirable behaviors are left. So if this video was useful and you found it valuable, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here, because we do videos like this every single week. Thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you on the next episode of Canine Training.